welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over how to crochet the waistcoat stitch. So what is the waistcoat stitch? The waistcoat stitch is also known as the center post stitch or the knit stitch. Okay, so to crochet the waistcoat stitch in the round, you can do this in any multiples that you want. A little trick when crocheting in the round, go ahead and get a few chains on your hook. Take your hook and place it in that first chain, like so. Then go ahead and where you left off, put that loop back on your hook, and you can continue to chain. And this works great if you're going to be making something really big and you have a lot of chains. I'm going to just crochet a small swatch for you. But what you do is once you're ready to join your round, all you have to do is just slip stitch and your chain is not twisted. It's perfect. Okay? Okay, so let's get started on the waistcoat stitch. Now, the waistcoat stitch is done in single crochet, okay? So to start off our round, we're going to chain one, and we're going to single crochet into each chain in our round, like so. And if you do not know how to single crochet, I will demonstrate. You get your hook, you put it through your chain, you're going to yarn over and pull through, and you will have 2 loops on your hook. You will yarn over and pull through those 2, okay? Now, a little trick, when you are crocheting the waistcoat stitch, it's best to crochet with a bigger hook. You want your stitches to be a little looser because we are going to be crocheting into the stitches, and I'll show you what I mean once we get there. Oops. Okay, I'm at the end of my rounds, and we will join the round with a slip stitch, like so. Chain one, and again, we are going to be going in one direction. This will be our right side, the inside will be the wrong side, and to crochet the waistcoat stitch, we normally would with a single crochet, we would be crocheting into the top. But we will not be doing that. So for the waistcoat stitch, we will be crocheting into the middle of these 2 posts. Okay, so that's why it's important that we are using a bigger hook so that it's not too tight. So a little trick, go in at an angle like so. Okay, I'll show you one more time. So we want to crochet right in the middle. You can go straight in, but sometimes it's easier to just go in at a little bit of an angle and push through. Now we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up a loop. Now usually with single crochet it will be tight, but for this we want to pull up a loop that's tall enough to be the same height as the loop that's already on our hook, okay? And then we just yarn over and pull through those 2. And voila, that's the waistcoat stitch. Super easy, right? Let's try it again. So we're going to crochet in the middle of these 2 posts, yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. And as you can see, you're starting to get that little knit looking stitch. And that is all that's to the waistcoat stitch. So the waistcoat stitch is most commonly used for household items like baskets and towels because it makes a nice thick thermal-like fabric. So keep that in mind when you're using this stitch for a project. Now, I recently just did a beanie in the waistcoat stitch. Now, it does make for a thicker fabric, which is great for a beanie. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round. You can either slip stitch your round close and continue to do that, or you can continue to crochet in your round by just single crocheting into the first one that you did. Just make sure to put a stitch marker there so you know where the beginning is. Okay, so I did this beanie completely in the waistcoat stitch. Now, this yarn has a stretch to it, so it's pretty easy to make, but as you can see you see the little V's? So depending on the yarn, you can use it for a beanie. You can also use this stitch to make baskets, towels, blankets. It does take a little longer to work up because you're crocheting into the previous row. So it takes a little longer to build, to grow your work. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. To crochet the waistcoat stitch in the flattened rows, you're going to start off the same way you did with the round. You can chain in any multiples and then just start your first row with a single crochet. One thing I do like to do, not everybody does this, but when I do the waistcoat in rows, I start my first stitch and my last stitch with a regular single crochet into the top. You don't have to do this, but I feel like it gives it a cleaner edge. So I don't chain one, which normally you would do with a single crochet, but because of the nature of this fabric, I find that if you just single crochet without a chain one, it keeps it a little bit tighter. Okay, so start off your row with a single crochet, then you can waistcoat stitch all the way until the end, until the last stitch of the row. So again, make sure you're not crocheting too tightly, and if you find you're having a little trouble crocheting into the post, just go up on a hook. It should be fine. It should fix that problem. Okay, my last waistcoat stitch. Now I'm at the end, and I'm just going to do a regular single crochet into the top, just like that. And that's how I waistcoat stitch in rows. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Makers keep making. I'll see you next video.